With Phase 5 set to begin next year, it's safe to say the guys over at Marvel are pretty busy, with the Infinity Saga having drawn to a conclusion. Many fans have been wondering for a little while what might be next, but a recent Marvel announcement has introduced the next big saga. Today we're discussing Marvel's recent announcement concerning the next big post-Avengers Endgame saga. Stay with us. Let's get straight into it. What went down? Is it safe to say that the dust on Avengers Endgame has finally settled? I mean, it's been more than 3 years now, right? One of the most iconic movies ever made, not just in the superhero genre. Endgame was huge for pop culture and brought the Infinity Saga to its conclusion. But with one of the biggest storylines now having been completed, what's next for the MCU? Well, Phase 4 has been met with mixed reviews. Of course, Marvel has released an incredible amount of material, but that hasn't really given fans a clear indication of where we go next. However, last weekend's Comic-Con has given us a little more of an idea. Fans might not be overly surprised to learn the name of the next saga will be MCU, the Multiverse Saga, revealed by Kevin Feige last week. The name probably won't send fans into a frenzy, as a lot of signs were already there. I mean, they just released a movie with multiverse in the title, right? Feige went on to explain that the newest saga to hit the MCU will incorporate everything from Phase 4 all the way through to the end of Phase 6, which will apparently draw to its conclusion with the release of Avengers Secret Wars at the end of 2025. What did you make of Feige's announcement at last week's Comic-Con? Give us your thoughts below. So, will this saga surpass the Infinity Saga? Stay tuned to find out. Fans have known for quite some time that the multiverse would play a pretty significant role in the MCU proceedings going forward. Loki first suggested we could be heading off in that direction, and What If picked up the baton and ran even further with it, exploring the alternate realities. Soon after, Spider-Man No Way Home, and then this year's Multiverse of Madness all but confirmed that the multiverse would be pivotal to any future saga. A lot of fans also correctly predicted the fact that Kang the Conqueror will feature heavily in any future conflict, having first appeared in Loki, but in what form, we're not quite sure. I mean, we're not even sure which one of his variants appeared in Loki. Fans have also been vocal across the internet message boards, again suggesting a Secret Wars project will appear somewhere in the upcoming saga, which has once again been recently confirmed. The storyline most recently went into the collapse of the multiverse, so it will be interesting to see how that features going forward. If the Multiverse Saga goes on to achieve even a tiny percentage of what the Infinity Saga did, then Marvel will probably be in for another monster hit. Many are convinced that it could actually be even bigger than the Infinity Saga, so we will probably just have to wait and see where we are at the conclusion of Secret Wars. Give us your predictions of where Marvel will go with the Multiverse Saga below. Next up, Feige has teased more multiverse reveals. Stay with us. Last weekend's Comic-Con served as somewhat of a reveal machine for Marvel, and Kevin Feige has suggested the MCU won't stop there. Phase 4 will soon be done and dusted, and Feige has promised that the guys over at Marvel will have more bits and pieces for fans to get stuck into in the near future. He said there's so much more to discuss and so much more to unveil, and we didn't want to talk about everything today. Excellent news! Of course, these words got fans excited for future reveals, and most have suggested that a Fantastic Forecast reveal is probably what Feige was suggesting could come next. Next up is the Disney D23 Expo. So could we be set to learn more about upcoming projects such as Deadpool 3 and Armor Wars? Hopefully. As the Marvel panel closed at last week's Comic-Con with a Wakanda Forever tease, Feige went on to say that Phase 4 has been very different to the previous 3 before discussing Avengers a little more, saying that there are more projects in less years, and therefore it didn't seem right to culminate, not gonna culminate every 10 months in an Avengers movie. And each of the films themselves now have become quite big in our crossover events in many ways. And after the creative experience we had with Infinity War and Endgame, it felt like it was about capping a saga, saving back-to-back Avengers films for the compilation of a saga. And that's really what we wanted to lay out today. Cool. More on the lack of Avengers movies now. Stick around. Kevin Feige was in a pretty talkative mood last weekend. While giving fans a glimpse of what to expect during Phase 5, Feige also revealed that the Multiverse Saga would conclude with back-to-back Avengers movies, Avengers The Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars. The last Avengers movie was back in 2019 with Endgame, so by the time we get to the end of Phase 6, it will have been 6 years long since we had an Avengers movie for us to get our teeth into. In Marvel terms, that's an eternity, but Feige has recently explained that in 2022, their place in the MCU has shifted somewhat. He doesn't particularly see them as the culmination to each phase any longer, saying the truth is, when we were doing Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3, there were fewer projects over more years. They were smaller projects and individual character stories, and it felt appropriate at that point point that after every 2 or 3 years that it took for a phase, we would do an Avengers film. Feige went on to reveal that nowadays, with the sheer amount of MCU content, Marvel bosses don't particularly see the Avengers films as cappers any longer. Whatever happens with the future Avengers movies, we're sure they'll be as epic as the previous installments. What do you guys make of Kevin Feige's words? Let us know below. So what do we know about the Avengers, the Kang Dynasty movie then? Well, the recent announcement that there will be 2 Avengers movies to round out Phase 6 got fans pretty excited. We know that Secret Wars is scheduled to be the last movie, which is being penciled in for November 2025, which means the Kang Dynasty will come earlier that year. Apparently, that one is set to drop on May 2025. But of course, that could yet change. Not too much is currently known about the Jonathan Majors-fronted movie, but we do know that Destin Daniel Cretton, who is in charge of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, is set to direct. He will also produce a live-action series featuring Wonder Man, as well as the highly anticipated Shang-Chi sequel. While we know Majors will be starring, not much else is known about the rest of the cast. Given that this movie will be a part of the multiverse saga, we can probably expect to see numerous different versions of Kang around the multiverse in the build-up to this one's release. It has been made abundantly clear that Kang wants to rule over as many alternate universes as possible, which means you can probably expect him to pop up all over the place. Are you guys excited about the Kang the Conqueror movie? Let us know what you expect below. And finally, Majors has had his say on being this saga's bad guy. Stay tuned. After making his debut in the series finale of Loki, it was pretty evident that Majors Kang would have a pretty big say in proceedings going forward. We know that that role is set to be even bigger than most would have first realized, with the actor himself recently speaking out about his meteoric rise to fame. He has only been in the movie game for 5 years, yet he's about to make a huge splash, and he seems pretty level-headed considering his newfound star status. He first played the character in Ant-Man and the Wasp, but was so impressive in the role that Marvel decided to develop the character further. Speaking about how it feels to be the main villain recently, Majors said, "It feels cool, you know? The whole thing is of a cultural significance, and so to be of titular significance, whatever that means, it's humbling, actually. You know, you just want to get to work. You just want to see the script, you know? Start and fail, and mess up, and, you know, memorize the lines, and do all the stuff I wanted to do since I was a little boy in Texas. Awesome! What do you guys make of Majors as Kang? As usual, thanks for joining us today, and remember to tune in again next time for some more fun and games. And why not do us a solid by liking and sharing today's video, while also subscribing to our channel. Bye, guys!